everyone, welcome to another episode of the Full Tilt podcast. Today is a super exciting one for me because I'm going to be interviewing a great friend of mine, but also an extraordinary talent, Angelina Nguyen, who used to be previously heads of Chanel, head of Issa London, Bulgari in Asia. She's had a stellar career at the top of some of the best luxury brands in the world, and I'm so excited to be interviewing her today to hear a little bit more about how she did it and what she thinks leadership means for the rest of us in the business world. Anyway, hope you enjoy the interview as much as I did speaking to her. So, Angelina, you've built an amazing career in luxury brands. Chanel, Cartier, Lanvin, Bulgari. But before all of that, what I'm really interested to understand is who was the young woman that first walked into the world? Who was she?
First of all, good morning, Bev. Let me say how honored I feel to be interviewed by you, a lady, businesswoman, a friend that I admire immensely. I do not give interview freely. But I'm extremely proud to be part of your podcast.
Thank you.
Let's go back to Chanel.
Yes, please.
I was headhunted to go to Chanel from Singapore. At that time, I was 26 years old. But what was extraordinary is that such a big company with huge heritage, having just employed Karl Lagerfeld a year before I arrived, has chosen such a young executive to be the sales and marketing manager for the brand. So that was, to me at the beginning, that was intimidating. But then when I got into the groove of building the brand and building the business and making the brand visible and developing the commercial side of it, then it became absolute passion. And working in a company where Karl Lagerfeld will go on to prove that he's an absolute genius, not just in design, but also in his intuition of perceiving the right trend, of being very strict with the brand codification, and to be such huge and larger than life persona. I admired him immensely because he was very quotient. Erudite, I would say. He knew everything about fashion. He was a historian. He was a curator of fashion. And I like the fact that he's blunt and abroad. A little bit like you, Belle.
It's a good thing, I think, to be direct. So, following on from what he created, which is often known to be probably one of the genius of luxury in the world, ever.
Yes.
It's often an aspirational industry in its way.
Yes.
So what do most people completely misunderstand about that world? Because in a lot of ways, it's not something that is easy to define.
So basically, there's no misunderstanding between the client and the brand.
Okay.
The brand has been very clever in understanding that the projection of such high image, high fashion image, couture image, French style, it could be perceived a little bit as unreachable and with a bit of snobism. But you have to understand, if you are too worried to push that Chanel door of a boutique in a prime location, you can go to the department store and buy. So from that point of view, customer to brand, I think that has been there with a long time ago. Now, people's perception about for executives who work for the brand, I would divide it in 3 levels. Number 1, like every industry, the top tier level are very humble and humbling, because all we do is we sleeve up and we get to work, because we have a sense of urgency, we have huge ambitions, and the ambition is not just quantitative, it's also qualitative. because Chanel is a family operated business and is still owned privately. The family has the luxury to have long-term vision. So you never do anything on a whim, or you have to be very strategic about everything.
No.
The second level is, I would say, middle management. Middle management sometimes can let the glamour of the brand go to the head. And then we go down to the customer level. I would say shop floor level or cosmetic counter level. So it's a mix between being extremely proud to be working for the brand and comparing it with other brands such as, I don't know if I'm only assuming here, but I have seen myself how our former Chanel staff would say, well, I work for Chanel, you see, your brand is just not known. Right. So there's a sense of pride, but that cannot be translated into the customer service. So this is how I would see it. And let's deal also with the PR side of things. I have been at the forefront of many, many brands. And I think you just do the job. You just do the job. And as a woman, it's a lot of preparation. Before an event, I have to be made up. I have to have my hair done. My hands and feet has to be always immaculate. I'm standing on high heels, and if all that is inconvenient, it's a job. So I have to do it properly. So the image projected doesn't mean who we are. And I think very smart people and people exposed internationally to everything doesn't interpret it that way.
Right.
Did I answer your question?
Yeah, no, I think you did. Which brings me to the next thing. So you've lived and worked across Asia, Europe, the UK, for what are known to be the world's top prestige luxury brands. What have those unique experiences taught you about leadership, people, and brand, and how those three things sort of mesh together?
So let's deal with Asia first. I would say that the profile of the Asian team, they're great executives. They're very hardworking. And there's a sense of urgency, a huge sense of pride. Not that in Europe they don't have it, but in Asia, a person working for a famous brand so completely associate himself or herself to the brand.
That's true.
It's a form of emulation that is happening there. And in Asia, I would say it's, at that time when I was there, the brand was just starting up. So it was not the perception of a mature brand as for Europe or the UK in particular. The competitive landscape is much more, it's much stronger, much more difficult. The team are very experienced and culturally aware. It's just a very different environment. I would say that people in Europe are more in tune with the brand, and they are more used to taking initiative and suggesting creative solutions. As for Asia, perfect execution is very
Okay. And so we'll just go back to, you mentioned earlier that you started working for Chanel. So Chanel as a brand, as you mentioned, is very unusual to put a 26-year-old into a leadership role. So what did that period of time like really teach you about risk, about being able to sort of step up to something where there may be some doubt to whether or not you think you can even do the role yourself? What did that sort of teach you about the high stakes of luxury and glamour and that whole environment where expectations are so high? For a young woman, I mean, it's extraordinary. I know you well, so I know you're very confident. But at 26, that's still a lot to be leading something. I mean, there must have been pressure that you felt beyond what you were even aware of personally.
So let's go back a little bit. Before joining Chanel, I was living and working in Singapore straight out of business school.
Mhm.
I've been there for more than 4 years, and I was a young entrepreneur.
Mhm.
I was representing already French fashion brand.
Mm.
Some of them are defunct now, but I started as an entrepreneur, trying to open up markets, Southeast Asia market, I would say. So that was extremely challenging. And when I joined Chanel, it was, if I could compare, it was like I was bicycling and now I'm in a Rolls Royce.
Right.
So it's what it has taught me is to adapt myself into a corporate world,
Right.
and learn from that corporate world. The management is totally different. The decision-making process is totally different. On the other hand, I have dealt with the age perception very quickly.
Mhm.
I had very long hair, so I put my hair in the chignon. I wore a fake wedding band, and I wore glasses, even though I could see perfectly have 100% vision until recently. So that was a deceptive image to people, right? So I was trying to age myself. But within my perception of the job, for me, I was the right person with the right training at the right place at the right time. So that gave me a lot of confidence. Not that I don't think that there's other people who could take on that job, maybe older, more experienced. But that completely emboldened me.
Right.
And failure is not an option. So when you start off like this, you don't look back, you only look forward, and you look daily what you have accomplished and what do you want, where do you want to go.
Which is a great motto for life in general, really, isn't it? So even in those days, though, when you look back at that, and I guess it's probably consistent even now when you think about expanding businesses, what was the hardest thing during those days of the expansion process for Lanvin, for Chanel, for courage?
Faith and courage.
Right.
You have to believe in what you want. You want to do, where you want to go with your team.
Yeah.
That's absolute faith.
Yeah.
And nothing should get into the way of that faith. And then hard work.
Of course.
Yes, and courage.
Yeah.
Courage to move forward, courage to get up when you fall down. Don't think that Chanel had a straight, a straight A immediately, that the brand get it right.
Right.
We stumble, we get up. We stumble again, we get up.
Yeah.
And the brand was non-existent in Asia. Chanel has developed quite a good business in Japan, but the rest of Asia, nothing. It didn't exist. We were 5 people in the office: a financial director, my own boss, myself, and 2 secretaries. So
yeah, and then even with Bulgari, I mean, Bulgari would have been completely unknown.
Absolutely.
And so you started with Bulgari.
Yes, I like to think that I'm a pioneer.
Even less than Chanel.
Because the shovel and the hammer and arrows.
Extraordinary. So as a leader, what did that require from you? So you've mentioned courage. Are there other sort of qualities that you think you had to really dig for?
So let's talk about the notion of leader. I'm not saying that there's a lot of confusion out there, but it's just for the benefit of the young generation. There is 2 things that really shock me most of the time. The first is the confusion between a good manager and a good leader. A good leader inspires, and you just want to strive. A good manager is just managing something existing or in the making.
Right.
So it requires from the leader to take a little bit of distance and to have a vision and never lose sight of that vision.
Right.
I give you an example. A leader make a decision, and halfway through he's thinking, I think we're not going down the right path.
Right.
A leader will plow on, because a leader will want to go right to the end of that path, even if it means failure, to really understand the lesson. But once that lesson is learned, there's no looking back. A manager will fret and say, oh, maybe I should change right now.
Right.
So that's a lack of vision.
Right.
Whether the vision is positive, negative,
Right.
or correct.
Right.
So that takes courage to plow through.
Right. And commitment, I think, too, is a great one, which I know we've sort of talked about personally, where having the sense of courage to commit to that vision and really, as you say, stick to it, it really does differentiate people. We've talked about that personally, people that we know. So with Issa and that collaboration with Banana Republic, that was a massive deal in the fashion industry at the time, and it catapulted Banana Republic into a whole other different level of brand recognition. So what did you learn about probably the power of all the things we're talking about? So not only your leadership would have been evolved to the right level at the right time, but bringing those things with the right partnership
You have to be an entrepreneur. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No.
You have to be an entrepreneur. You have to think.
So talk to me about, in your mind, what does that feel like? How do you know it's right?
Okay, first of all, when I joined Issa became a sensation overnight because Kate Middleton,
Yes.
future Queen of England,
Yes.
married to Prince William, was wearing a Issa dress to get engaged to him.
I remember. Yes, I remember.
Right?
Okay.
So, I mean, I'm so sorry to use this kind of word. I know that you love dogs, so let's use an analogy that was,
Right.
resonate with both of us domestically. I'm like a dog. You're giving it a home, I would chew it.
Right.
So when I came into the brand, of course, I have to think carefully what I can contribute and can I grow the brand. I looked at what the brand has.
Right.
And Kate Middleton at that time was already huge.
Right.
In her own right. Right. So I thought, okay, let's not sell a brand. Let's sell Kate Middleton in the dress.
Right.
Yeah. So you have to think a little bit out of the box and be every entrepreneur that I have met are very opportunistic and very agile.
Right.
So there is no set recipe. I could not have come with my conviction and my certainty about step by step how you build a brand, how much you should spend in marketing and PR. And no, it's out of the box.
Right. It's bigger than that.
Yes.
It's looking at what else that environment.
And being an opportunist. Be an opportunist.
Okay. And is there a feeling that you like? Is that something you feel in your gut? Like when you're making that decision? Because I know from my entrepreneurial background, sometimes there is a whole range of things that come together, and that doesn't always come together at a time that you can. But there is a feeling sometimes that you have, and sometimes it genuinely feels bigger than me. Is that how do you sense that for yourself, that you know it's the right thing to do?
No, for me, unfortunately, it's all in the brain.
That's not bad.
So, reasoning, logic, execution. The only part that I leave to chance is in that specific case, is to choose the right partner.
Right.
And I just feel that when you make the right decision and that you have covered all angles, and when you approach that partner, in this case, Banana Republic, things will be very smooth.
Right.
Whether, he could be a little bit mystical and say to you, I could sense that Nate was a brand.
Right.
Or it was the most famous brand at the time in that space.
Right.
No, I was looking at the collaboration. What do I want to achieve?
Okay.
Which is, it has to be at least 1 billion impression in PR.
Right.
So that represents something.
Right.
That's the tangible results that I'm looking for.
Okay.
It has to bring instant cash for the company. That after the deal is done, then Banana Republic has to pay us a lot of fee.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not going to go into the details. But that was a lot of money, cash that came into the company that allowed us to do other things.
Right.
That was stepping stones.
So a big sort of vision wrapped in strategy.
Yes.
Always.
Yes.
So, well, maybe because I know you well. So that moves on to sort of the ethos of the Full Tilt podcast. And you know me well, so you know there's a little bit of obsession in the things that I do. That's the ethos of what I want to talk to people about, because being a leader, being a successful entrepreneur, as you've been, you have to have an element of obsession in who you are. But there's also fear. There's also elements where those two combine, where you have to pivot in your life to change direction, sometimes commercially, sometimes in life, sometimes both at the same time. Has there been a moment for you where you had to pivot like that? And what was that, if you don't mind us asking that question? So you said, has there been a point in your life where you've really had to change direction and ask yourself, what am I doing? Like, and completely turn left or turn right from the direction you already left?
Oh my God, I'm going to disappoint you.
You won't.
Never.
Really?
So let's qualify somebody like me.
Mm-hmm.
And forgive me if I need to, because English is not my mother tongue.
Yep.
So sometimes I need to use allegory to
Mhm.
explain things, or to express myself rather. I'm like a racing horse. And starting from the time when I joined Chanel, which was done by Headhunter, thereafter, I was in the database of the most important headhunters specialized in luxury space.
Right.
So they will come to me and they will say, you've been racing very well. There's a bigger race.
Right.
Would you be interested?
Okay.
So that's when my ambition and my confidence in my skill come in. Right. It's a bit mercantile.
Yeah.
Is to say, okay, I think I can do this. But it's a mission. It's a mission. So pivoting is not the word, I think, because maybe it's more in the entrepreneurial language. I would say the first thing is to be very aware of the changing environment.
Right.
To be open to change, because in my various leadership role, we've had to use the help of specialists like coaches to instill change in the team. Yeah. So when you're leading and you are very agile and light on your feet, there's no pivoting moment. It's just progress for me. So let's say you bail today, you run a company with a potential of an exit of 100 million.
Mm-hmm.
You want to take it to 1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
You don't pivot. You fly.
Right.
Because pivoting, to me, pivoting is just to change angle.
Right.
When you do 360 or 180, it's a discussion.
Right.
Right. But I think that the concept of flying is quite interesting.
And it's a nicer one, actually. I like that.
That
feature. Flying. Well, I fly a lot. Not that I always.
And you always fly. You're starting experience a good pilot.
Thank you. I'll tell you.
Whether you decide to train a co-pilot to be by your side and to let go and to delegate and to have this firm belief that things can continue without you.
So that's definitely my goal.
Yes.
You can't always be in the driver's seat. No. So that brings us to what you've done with leadership in massive organizations, but you've done different roles. So the thing that interests me is that you haven't only been a leader in corporate, you've also done a lot of consulting work. They're really different.
Yes.
Very different. And you've also worked across very different industries. So you're doing consulting work with companies like Caesar's Palace, you've been working in fashion, you've worked in luxury, and now you also explained to me, which I still honestly can't get my head around, you're working in nanotechnology with companies in Hong Kong. I'm like, okay, which is extraordinary. And that's an extraordinary reinvention from Chanel to nanotechnology. That's not a straight line. So what gave you and again, we'll use the word courage, because I think it's a lot to step across one industry to another. But then I know you well, and I know you have an enormous amount of courage. So fear is not a thing you digest.
I don't understand.
I know. But what gave you that sort of preemptive understanding to move across industries that are so diverse?
My motto is you start by starting.
Huh.
I'm extremely curious.
Yes, I know that too.
Yes. Basically, I haven't done anything. There was this company called Master Dynamic. It's basically a company with 70 engineers, and they are a factory. They invent technologies.
Yeah.
Before anybody invented technology.
Yeah.
They were part of the first pioneer to be into facial recognition.
Mhm. Ah.
And the company is part of a very big group, and that big group has another brand which I'm not to name, but there's no point in naming brands here. And that brand is a local Chinese brand,
Right.
selling jewelry and diamond focus and 24 karat gold focus. So the company has invented a technology allowing a very good process of grading diamonds, bypassing all the graders.
Okay.
So saving a lot of time, etc. They were the one to approach me.
Okay.
And they said that they have done a lot of research and they believe that I'm the only person who can implement this new technology for various rounds.
Okay.
So that's how it came by.
Fascinating. How long have you been doing that for?
No, it's over now because we have wrapped up. We have wrapped up.
Okay.
And again, I'm not going to name any brand.
I understand.
But we have been able to reduce this very high labor intense exercise, which consists of grading diamonds.
Yeah.
So this is how technology has changed traditional space and traditional business.
Okay. Interesting. So I'm going to probably embarrass you a little bit now, but I'm amazed by this piece of information that we found out when I was researching you to do this interview. And I've known you for now quite a long time.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but my children who are very young and dynamic and they know everything and they say, mommy, you can erase everything online about yourself.
No, you can't. Little Snoopy, no, you can't. So we'll tell everyone watching today, and you're going to have to pronounce these two things because I can't, but they are fabulous. You've been awarded 2 of the highest awards by the French Minister of Culture for the work you've done for primarily promoting, I think, China and thinking Asia, Asian trade with France.
Yeah, I'm going to come in the rest.
Please do. Please rescue me.
Okay.
But I'm amazed. You didn't tell me any of this. So this just goes to show to anyone listening, this is a very modest woman with everything that she's achieved. Extraordinary. So talk about those awards and please tell everyone what they are in French because I can't.
Okay. So back in 1996, a gentleman approached me, a French gentleman. He was the number 2 of a huge company. I'm not going to name any brands, but very wealthy company in the luxury field.
Right.
He approached me and he said, Angelina, we would like to set up a foundation called the French Asian Art Society. And that foundation would be linked directly to an organization in France, a very important cultural organization called ARA. Literally, I can translate this Association of the Friends of Asian Art.
Okay.
And the whole objective of that association is to help raise funds and to receive donation from major collectors for Asian art.
Okay.
At that time, President Chevalier, like all the presidents in the US, you have the Obama Library, for example, the Kennedy Center.
Yes.
There's Ronald Reagan Airport.
Yes.
So to mark the passage of the president, usually in France they like to people for their austerity to be associated to a museum.
Yes.
So President Mitterrand decided that Orsay Museum will be his legacy.
Yeah.
Okay. So Jacques Chirac is a passionate man about Asian art,
Yes.
namely Japanese art, Chinese art. And he grew up in his small town. He grew up with a gentleman who's now passed away, called Jean-François Jarriche, who then was the chief curator of the main museum. To me, the main museum is one of the most important and authoritative museum on Asian art. It has everything.
Okay.
From Bulgari art to Khmer to Chinese to Japanese to Korean to Indonesian.
Yes.
And of course, the museum was under renovation, and they have larger ambition for the museum. Therefore, they need to go and look for private funding. So the idea was to go to important places like Hong Kong,
yeah,
and look to raise money,
right,
for the museum. Also to get collectors to be interested in cultural exchanges between China and France. And if you go back to the 18th century during the Conrad Emperor, the cultural exchanges between the two countries have been always there, with exchanges of gifts from China, of beautiful silk, beautiful artifacts, and then France would be sending very beautiful clocks and work.
Yes.
So we want to rejuvenate this sense of cultural connection.
Okay.
So to make the long story short, we raised quite a lot of money.
Okay.
Through that association. So to thank me, the Minister of Culture, Mr. Luce Blasi at the time, but you don't get the medal just like that. First of all, it has to be justified. It has to be for the good of the country.
Right.
And it has to be asked by somebody.
Right.
I do ask for each medal.
Right. You have to give it on
one day I received a letter.
Yeah.
Officially published in the government gazette.
Wow.
Saying you have received this distinction of Chevalier des Arts et Lettres.
Yeah.
And especially proud of this medal because normally you give this medal to scholars, academics, top professor, poet, writer, but lately even chanson got one. So we have to put everything back into perspective.
Well, I don't know if I would compare you to Sharon Stone, but I think I can imagine you would have had enormous influence on what they did with the museum and getting the investment.
We did organize a massive exhibition.
Yeah.
And the catalog, we don't say book in this world, we say catalog. A catalog has been created for the students of Asian art.
Yeah.
And it's called cultural exchanges between France and China.
Yes.
In the 18th century.
Extraordinary. So what did that, I mean, even in that experience you just explained, which is fascinating to me because it's an extension of what you've done previously with your eye for quality and obviously I've experienced that in knowing you. What's your sort of, given that you've understood power, influence, leadership at levels that most people in business would never see. I mean, when you're operating in a luxury sphere, you're obviously working with people who have achieved an enormous amount in most cases, pretty much 100% of the cases, because just their level of affluence, which is how we measure a lot of success in business as well. What does that sort of taught you about that confluence of influence, leadership, power?
So first of all, I think you, apart from your job, apart from building companies and brands, I think personal passion is important. It keeps you sane.
Yes.
And I used to do a very interesting exercise for my team. We would go regularly to Europe, Asia, to do buying or to have meetings.
Yeah.
I always try to make it coincide with the long weekend.
Right.
And during that weekend, I just, like a dictatorship. Yes. I would just say, look, there is no shopping time.
Right.
This is, a gift from the company, and we're going to go to the museum.
Right.
And we're going to walk in the streets of Paris in the beautiful buildings.
Right.
And we're going to go for private visits
Right.
of exhibition.
Right.
We're going to walk into the street of Rome. We're going to understand Caravaggio, Tintoretto, Leonardo da Vinci.
Right.
And for me, to emulate that and to pass it on to my team is extremely important, because you can train in a business school.
Yes.
You can have experience working on the ground,
Right.
being a manager, being a leader. But how about your eye? You have to try and train your eye to be very acute and in tune with beauty and style.
Right.
And only this kind of exercise and passion you give it to. So let's talk about the Italian. They're very lucky. They're born in beauty.
Right.
So are the French.
Right.
So people keep talking. Oh, he's very stylish. And she's very stylish because she's French. She's
Right.
Italian.
Right.
They're born in it.
Right.
No, they're not born in it.
Okay.
From the age of being a baby or toddler, everywhere their eyes rest, it's all about beauty. It's all about perfection, balance, color combination. So that kind of education to myself and to my team was extremely important. So I was not making a conscious effort to be influential with the political class. Okay, that came also. But it was just a consequence of how you can be more than who you are.
Okay.
It's not aspiration.
No.
It's not. So for those young people who are listening to me, please don't go on your phone and start storing images of paintings. You've got to go. You've got to learn to stand at the right distance between a painting on an artwork and yourself.
Right.
There's an exact measurements for that.
Mm.
You have to look how it's exposed, in what context, how did this artist came about to the journey of the artist. And I'm telling you, it's extremely interesting and educational.
Okay, fascinating. And so that's interesting to me, because there's almost a contradiction in the luxury industry, because it's so much about image, but what you've just talked about there is having the substance. How do you navigate the tension between those two?
There's no tension. The image has to be immaculate all the time.
Okay.
So people leave you alone. They don't look at you and start saying, oh, but her shoes doesn't go with her handbag or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay.
So just master that.
Okay.
Right? And then people will leave you alone to do your own thing.
Interesting. Interesting. And you think that's relevant in the luxury industry as well as outside of that?
Everything.
Everywhere.
Yes. I know that the tech boys, they like to wear a t-shirt. And now it's not so cool to wear a tie when they go to a meeting. Women can afford to maybe, put a jacket and have a white t-shirt underneath. And I must say, Karl Lagerfeld reinvented that look.
Yes, he did.
He did, right? So how to be chic but be, comfortable in your skin. Simple, right?
Yeah.
So Coco Chanel is wearing men's jacket because she didn't have enough money to buy fabric. So she would pinch the tweed fabric that the Duke of Westminster had for his jacket. And then she invented a new trend. She was the first women who were wearing trousers, and that didn't take the femininity away from her.
Mm.
And I remember, I don't remember which year, but at one point, we were saying to Carl, we must do something to make the brand more accessible to the young people.
Right.
So we did something very simple. We came up with the best cut white t-shirt with the Chanel logo and a Chanel name. We sold thousands of them.
I can imagine. And you're still selling them.
Yes.
Well,
So we would be wearing a super well cut pair of jeans,
Right.
and then a Chanel jacket on top.
And it's
How cool is
that's
that?
the easiest thing
How
to
cool
put
is
together.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My uniform work.
So I'm not fanatic about, you must wear a suit and you must wear a dress.
Right.
As a woman, I'm most comfortable wearing a dress
Ah.
if I'm in a form.
Right.
setting.
Right.
But I truly believe that there's a time for everything.
Yep.
You do not wear a cocktail dress during the day.
Right.
And then if your invitation is say welcome, you wear a long dress.
Right.
You don't go against the trend because to respect the codification of society is
Yes.
very important.
Yes.
Which and people, I'm sorry, and people will judge you on the way you behave,
Of course.
on your allure.
Of course.
So then what you wear,
Of course.
I think.
Of course. And in a lot of cases, those two, I look at it as one helping you break through the other.
Yeah.
Because in a lot of ways, people were already making their mind up about you from the road you took. And it's not, it's just a human quality. But it brings me to a really interesting question I want to ask you, which is about the cultural components of your career. So you've navigated the French, you've navigated the Chinese. So Korea, and then of course the UK, which is a whole other level of conservative and historical infrastructure. So what out of all of that is like the universal truth of human behavior for you? What's the one thing that stands out no matter the culture or the market? Is there one?
There's two,
Okay.
which I have learned along the way. The first skill that I have managed, I think, to understand and master
Mm-hmm.
is to keep a cool head.
Huh.
And business is just business. It's nothing personal.
Okay.
Along the way, and I'm not going to name the country, as a woman, I have been treated very badly. Lack of respect, arrogance, dismissive, condescendent. But that was another era. I hope that nowadays is over. You've got to keep a cool head in Asia.
Yep.
Because if you show emotions such as frustration, irritability, anger, then from that perspective, from the Asian perspective, people will think you don't have control of your own emotion. How can you control the discussion you're having?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a total lack of respect.
Right.
So sometimes it comes from provocative circumstances. Sometimes it's just happened because of culture.
And is there one sort of human quality that all of those different cultures sort of hold constant? So when you were navigating them,
Stay cool.
okay,
Stay
it works in any culture.
Yes.
That makes total sense.
Be detached and stay cool,
Right.
professional.
Right.
The second quality, I would say, I learned it from being immersed completely in European culture.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say it's creativity,
Okay.
initiative, boldness to express yourself
Okay.
and to speak up. Because Asian culture doesn't speak up.
Okay.
It's more to conform.
Okay.
When you master both and it's like you have a toolbox.
Yes.
You produce the tool that you need to produce at the circumstances that you're in,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Okay.
You cannot be too loud and aggressive and vocal in an Asian environment. But you cannot be reserved and demure and I would say introvert
Mm-hmm.
and not standing up
stand
for yourself. And I mean, I challenge you to be in a meeting with 10 entire men. I sit there and say nothing, but they will continue talking.
Right.
Same with the French.
Right. That's the same.
Yes.
Any different
Adaptability.
Yes.
Yes.
Definitely. So in those sort of roles and as a leader, what's the most difficult leadership decision you've ever had to make? And what did that cost you, if anything?
Firing people.
Mm.
Because my prime objective every single day, every single month, every single year is to make sure that a team of people who work with me and for me sometimes are guaranteed to go home with a salary. And that is up to my performance and their performance.
Yes.
We need together.
Yes.
Right. The toughest part is when somebody is not rising up to this,
Yes.
to the challenge.
Mhm.
That's when you need the help of a human. If you're a big company, you need the help of a human resource person
Right.
to navigate and never to make the decision in a drastic unless that person is endangering the company.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm very keen and fanatic of this test called the Myers-Briggs. So Myers-Briggs divide people into categories, right? And sometimes in an organization, and not of the fault of the individual, that person with that profile and that skill and that tendency is in the wrong place.
Yes.
So that's when I advocate change.
Right.
I could go to a PR person who loves the job, love meeting people, love dressing celebrity, blah, blah. And I have to tell this person that this person doesn't have what it takes.
Yeah.
But that he's more left brain, right? And that he should be working as financial controller.
Right.
You imagine the shock?
Yes, I've been there.
Exactly. I have, but then that person is, but you have to hold that person's hand and say,
Yes.
if you're okay with this,
Yes.
we would like to coach you and train you to change specialty career because you're not leaving the company. But if the person resists, then
You have to, yes,
you have to make the decision, the right decision for yourself to be happy as an individual, to be happy going to work. And I have a company to defend.
Yes, and you have shareholders and you have
So I will accountable.
Yeah, I totally get it.
Something.
It's so fantastic talking to you, and I love talking to you like this. No, it's so fantastic because even though I know you so well, it's so great. These environments, when I get to talk to people in this sort of business environment that I've known for a long time, I learn so much. It's really fantastic. So we're going to end the interview today with what we call our rapid fire questions. We ask our guests these same 5 questions in a similar vein, not exactly the same, at the end of every interview. But are you ready? Okay. So one luxury brand outside of any that you've worked with that you genuinely admire and why?
MS.
Why?
Same ethos as Chanel, family business. They're great fighter because every image has tried to rate them times.
Yes.
And I happen to know Mr. Lassid Juma at the time when they were still alive.
Mm-hmm.
And I really, really admire their talent.
Awesome.
They were not there because they were part of the MS family or the Gal family. They were there as they deserved it.
Awesome. Best piece of advice you've ever received and who gave it to you?
Never sleep with your boss.
That makes me laugh. Who gave that to you?
Danny, you don't see it now, but I used to be a babe.
Hey, we were both babes. Come on. We still are babes.
Yeah.
You want to name who gave it to you?
No, I was harassed sexually many times, so there's
I can imagine. I can imagine. But obviously a very good piece of advice. We followed that, I think, a lot. So what's the one thing that keeps you up at night as sort of strategist in this crazy world?
Nothing, because sleep repair, and you need to sleep well.
And so, what does living at full tilt mean to you?
Forge ahead, but don't be blind. Don't be blindsided. Don't miss the blind corner. I associate that with driving a car. When you're starting off, maybe, with the Peugeot, it's going, car space.
Mm-hmm.
But because you're a good driver, even with a slow car, before you turn, you've got to do shoulder check.
Right.
Which they don't do it here, by the way. You have to have very thorough vision.
Mm-hmm.
And the faster your car, the more speed you need.
Uh-huh.
So let's say take a ferry. anything.
Right.
It's not given to any driver. Doesn't matter how experienced to drive. You have
Right.
to be trained to drive, right? But it's not so much going fast. It's how to navigate and when to slow down, when to brake suddenly, because the tool is fabulous. So if you know that you have a fabulous tool, you better step up as a driver.
Oh, I love your answers. So what's the next chapter?
Next chapter.
I know that the world doesn't yet know.
Is to answer your question in a proper way.
You've answered immediately. But is there something you're going to do next? Or what's the next iteration of Angelina that the world hasn't seen yet?
So this is getting extremely personal, extremely uncomfortable for me.
You don't have to answer if you don't want.
So no, I have 3 objectives.
Okay.
One is I'm in this phase now when I want to make a difference.
Okay.
So if I can contribute, if I can help.
Yes.
I want to be helpful.
Yes.
So in every level.
Okay.
I want to be the best mother and best grandmother out there.
I think you already are.
And
From what I've seen. Yes.
And let's elevate the debate. And I truly believe that without being feminist or without talking about concepts that really bore me, which is patriarchy, matriarchy,
Yes, understand.
equality, men, women. This is all rubbish to me. Yeah, sorry to use this term.
No. I'm sort of agreeing in other ways.
But in my life, I have been extremely fortunate to have met and befriended and literally become intimate friends of very powerful women.
Right.
Not because they are in a powerful position, but women who make a difference in the world.
Yes.
And that emulate me. And I truly believe that there is a movement that is out there encouraging women and giving the platform and the opportunity for women, like-minded women, to get together, not to change the world, but to show the way to the young, to the misled, and especially to the people who are a little bit lost today. Because there's so much distraction.
Yes.
But it's part of the world. Right? So this is really, really what I would like to do.
Well, that's fantastic. So for anyone out there listening, you've just unleashed this extraordinary thought process on the rest of the world that clearly I'm going to be watching and seeing what you do. But so fantastic having you join us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.